Good morning, students. I hope everyone is okay. In today's video, we'll touch and explain the chapter The School Boy. This chapter is a beautiful poem composed by a famous poet, William Blake. William Blake writes very thematic poems on children concern. Like if you are a good reader, you must have read or gone through the poem Chimney Sweepers, composed by him, and one more poem, Tiger, about conserving such animals like tiger. So there is such a poem titled The Schoolboy for you. In this poem, there is a schoolboy who is in a very unhappy mood. Why he is unhappy? Because his freedom is curtailed. That's why he is unhappy. And he is not given to live freely. That's why his talent, his upbringing, his offspring has been crushed by people. And he urges to people, to parents, to teachers that his freedom should not be curtailed. Else he would not grow like a plant. He want to blossom like a flower. And if his childhood is snatched away from him this way, he would wither away like a plant in a very beginning. So here is such a poem. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds singing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company. So this is the first stanza. First we'll talk about rhyming scheme. So you can see it is morn A tree V. Again horn A, me again B, company again B. So it should be A B A B, sorry, A. Company will rhyme with me. So it will be A B A B A. You can make it your own, like it is morn, then tree, then horn, then me, then again company, again B. So rhyming scheme will be A B A B B, like this. So this is being repeated in all the stanzas. Let's start about explanation. So as I told earlier, the poem throws light on the mindset of schoolboy of a school, and the boy is not happy because he loves his life not in school, not in the state of captivation, but he likes his life free. He wants to live in the lap of nature. So he says that the child, I in the line is that school going boy. He says, I love to rise. Means I love to grow up in the morning, but not for going school. I love to rise in summer morning when the birds sing in the tree. Means he enjoys the company of these birds and their singing. And he says that he loved to wake up in the morning and to enjoy listening the blowing of the horns. So that horns actually horns by those hunters, and this sound actually pleases him. Next he says, the skylark sings with me. Means he enjoys with me here means the company. He enjoys the company of the skylark. Then he says that he can find it such a joy to be with all these means birds or huntsmen's horns. All this he finds it very nice to be in company with. And that's why he loves to woke up morning in the summer morning. But he does not like to woke up for going to school. But to go to school in summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in singing, in sighing and dismay. But, so there is but, so instead of living free like a bird, he is made to, he is forced to go to school. It makes him very unhappy. Then he says that it takes all the joy away. Waking up for listening birds gives him pleasure. Listening to hunts, listening to the singing of the skylark gives him pleasure. But again, the same thing. Waking up in the summer morning, but for the purpose of going to school, takes his all joy away. Because he does not like there the company of the cruel eye outworn, means the teacher who is called here a cruel eye outworn, means he is under the unkind supervision of that old teacher's watchful eye. So he does not like that, because the teachers always watch you and they always rebuke you, always stop you from doing anything that you like. So he does not like that. In front of their eyes, every time being in the school for 8 or 9 hours actually takes his all the joy of the day. Then the little boy says, the little ones spend all their day in sighing and dismay. Sighing means just in morning, Moaning, morning, means they just spend their time, they do not enjoy it, they just spend it in morning, means just a kind of low crying and dismay. They are very disappointed. They spend their time in crying, in silent weeping, or in disappointment. That is dismay. Now the boy says, ah, then at times I drooping sit. So the boy says that most of the times in the school he sits in not a erect position, he sits in a bent position. He's bent while sitting because he's not liking that at all. Now he says, and spent many hours in a kind of anxiousness. So he sits his head down and as if he's inside a cage, and he finds no joy in reading there. So what surrounds him? His cheerlessness is surrounded by a kind of disappointment. Nor in my book can I take delight. And he can't find any pleasure in reading books. So he spent his hour, means actually here time, in a specific kind of anxiousness, worries, anxiety. Nor sit in learning board. Not sit in learning. He just learns nothing. That's why he says that he is fed up of the shower of the words from his teacher. Nor sit in learning bower, means he's not learning anything there while sitting in such a posture, and worn through those the things which are worn out, those old sayings, statements by the teacher, and that is dreary. Dreary means that dreads you. So that shower of words, his teachers shower of, means one after another lecture. That shower of words means the lecture, the verbosity bores him, and he would not make any learning out of it. So this way he says that it is of no use to make such strict regimentation in the school for a school going small kid, because his it snatches his childhood away and left him with a horrid physique. Now, in the next stanza, how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child, when fears annoy, but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? So, in this line, he compares himself to a bird who is born free but unfortunately, who is just sit in a case, who is caged, and people ask him to sing again and again. Means whatever they want him to follow it. So he says he compares himself to a bird, but he straightway said that how can a bird sing in a cage? And he called the school and the home as cage. When people captivated you and enforce their instructions on you. So we can say it's a metaphor here in this line. There's a very good example of metaphor, calling yourself your school cage and calling yourself as a bird who is caged. How can a child when fears annoy but drop his tender wing? So how can a boy who is actually born to enjoy his life, but when he is all the time in the under the fears or such atmosphere, and this annoy means this all troubles him, definitely then he would droop his tender wings. His tender wings will never let him fly freely, and his wings will droop down means will bow down, and the child will forget about his youthful spring. The spring actually is again referred to as here the good youth, young youthfulness, such a cheerfulness of his age. So spring is actually season, but here it means his childhood, his rich childhood, his rich youthfulness. So he would definitely forget about his youthfulness, his childhood sweet days. His childhood will simply just turn away and he will not enjoy that. Now, after his pleadings, his calls to the school administrations, now he makes appeals to his parents. So the poet now calls upon the parents not to be so harsh or cruel to the children. O father and mother, if birds are nipped and blossom blown away, if birds means just very starting up springing of a tree. If the very starting means the buds of the trees will be crushed, nipped means they will be crushed. Means suppose there is a child, his childhood would be crushed by forcing him to go to school, by expecting from him good marks, all these. So what will happen? His childhood will be almost snatched away from him. Or we can say it's if we compare him with a bird, with a plant, his starting his buds will be nipped, crushed, and blossoms blown away. And his blossom, his flowering, that is his very pure childhood, because they are as delicate as a bird of a tree. So the flowers and this upspringing will be just crushed, and they need fresh air and free movement to grow healthy and happy. So there he requested parents, teachers, everyone not to snatch his freedom of their joy in the springing day. Means if they are tender plants stripped, arts if they are denied, their childhood is stopped. So in the spring day means in that pure time of that spring, their youthfulness, they will never be able to enjoy it or use it for a positive cause. And by this all sorrow and the dismay means the experience that is of trouble, that is sad. So he requested his parents that not keeping children under excess cage, excess regimentation will actually make them dismay. This excess care, excess cage or regimentation restrictions will make their child unhappy, and he will lost his that precious childhood, will never be able to use it in his old or adult age. If a plant is denied means air and you do not let it go free, so what will happen? It won't grow up. It will never grow well and will never bear any fruits to the parents. So he says that such restricted childhood days has no future. So, how shall the summer arise in joy? Means how the summer will arise means emerge in joyfulness if we will not let them free in the summer. And the last line here means, or the summer fruits appear. If you crush his childhood days, if you will not let him enjoy the summer in the morning time, you will all the time force him to go to school, restrict him every time from the things which he likes. He will, how he will bear fruits for you, how the fruits will appear in the ripe days. In the such ripe days, he will never be able to do anything we call it fruitful. So I hope you must have understood this well. The message given by the boy or given by a poet William Blake. The message very clear that uh, it is not right to put many restrictions on especially small children. Or the boy wanted to say that along with going to school and all this, freedom is essential for children, but it should be enjoyed under the guidance of elders. Though there should be a gentle care touch of the teacher or the parents, but one should not be enforced and restricted a lot that sometimes even adversely affects the child's mental health or his future. And he sometimes in such majority of such cases the children would not bear fruitful youthfulness or the fruitful future there. I hope you must have enjoyed this poem. We'll do NCERT exercise in next, and you all are expected to do the assignment questions today. Thank you for joining in. Thank you.